When the ISS Valiant first docked with the orbital station above Arctis 9, I thought it would be another routine resupply mission. Drop the containers, check the calibration logs, maybe get a few hours of sleep before jumping to the next system. I didn't expect her. She wasn't even supposed to be on the crew manifest. Yet there she was, tall, poised, and utterly unreadable, standing near the decontamination bay, the soft glow of the plasma filters outlining her silver-blue skin. Her name was Sarai, a liaison from the Arcturon Council. To humans she looked almost ethereal. Her eyes shimmered like molten glass. Her hair a soft cascade of metallic white strands that seemed to move slightly even when the air was still. And me. I was just Evan Holt, maintenance engineer, part-time systems analyst, and full-time smartmouth. The kind of guy who used humor as armor in every uncomfortable situation. Beginning. Our first interaction didn't exactly go smoothly. I was running diagnostics on the coolant arrays when she appeared behind me, completely silent. Her people didn't seem to believe in knocking or clearing their throat before entering. "Human," she said in that even melodic tone. "You are using an outdated interface sequence." I spun around so fast I hit my head on the open panel. "Ow, damn it. You could warn a guy, you know." Her expression didn't change. "I did. I said you are using an outdated." "No, I meant never mind," I grumbled. "So, you're the new liaison. Congratulations. Try not to sneak up on the engineers, yeah." "I did not sneak. You simply failed to perceive." "Oh, great. She's literal." That earned me a faint tilt of her head. Curiosity, maybe. Arcturans were famous for their control over expression, but something about the faint shimmer in her eyes told me she was amused. "Literalness," she said softly, "is the foundation of clarity." "And teasing," I replied, "is the foundation of friendship." She blinked once, processing. Then, to my surprise, she smiled. Just a small curve of her lips, but it hit me harder than I'd expected. For a second I forgot how to breathe. Middle. Over the next few weeks, Sarai and I ended up working together more than either of us wanted to admit. The Valiant's navigation core was failing, and her knowledge of Arcturon neural technology was critical. I was assigned to assist, which really meant try not to break anything expensive while the alien genius fixes it. But the more we worked together, the more I noticed her small, almost human quirks. She would hum faintly while aligning resonance crystals, or stare out the viewport for long stretches, as if the stars themselves whispered secrets only she could hear. And I, being me, couldn't help but tease her. "You know, for someone from a hyper-advanced civilization, you sure take forever to calibrate one crystal," I said one night. "Precision is not bound by impatience," she replied without looking up. "Yeah, but humans have a saying, close enough gets you dinner faster. Perhaps that explains your species' unstable engines." I laughed. "Touché." She didn't laugh, but that faint shimmer in her eyes returned. I began to realize it was her version of amusement. Subtle, reserved, but real. Soon the teasing became familiar, comfortable, like the kind of rhythm that forms between two people who understand each other more than they admit. Then came the storm. A rogue plasma surge from Arctis 9's magnetosphere hit the station. Systems fried. Gravity fluctuated. Emergency klaxons blared through every deck. Sarai and I were in the lower conduits when the surge struck. The hallway twisted, sparks showering down. I tried to pull her into a maintenance alcove, but she resisted, until a beam collapsed behind us, sealing the exit. "We're trapped," shouted. "Not yet," she said, scanning the collapsing bulkhead with her wrist module. "But we will be if the secondary coolant line ruptures." "Then what are you waiting for?" I require your assistance, Evan Holt. She rarely used my full name. Startled me, but I moved. Together we rerouted the plasma feed manually, our hands working in sync. The heat was unbearable, the conduit humming like an angry hive, but Sarai's voice remained calm and steady, guiding me through. When the system finally stabilized, I collapsed against the wall, breathing hard. She knelt beside me, her eyes scanning my face. You risked your life, she said quietly. Why? I tried to laugh, but my throat was dry. Guess I didn't want to lose my favorite co-worker. Her gaze softened. You tease again. Yeah. Guess it's my thing. She reached out, slowly, hesitantly, and touched my wrist. Her skin was cool, almost electric. The contact sent a strange warmth through me, like my heartbeat had found an echo. Then, she said, perhaps I understand teasing now. After the storm, the damage to the station was severe. Most of the human crew was reassigned to orbit while Arcturon engineers handled reconstruction. But Sarai stayed. She requested it, in fact. When I asked why, she only said, it would be inefficient to separate partners mid-project. Partners, huh? Said. You're starting to sound human. I have studied your humor extensively. Oh. Should I be worried? She tilted her head again. Perhaps. I didn't know what she meant until later that evening. We were recalibrating the station's new gravitic coils, and I, predictably, couldn't resist one more jab. You sure these settings aren't too advanced for a simple human mind like mine? She didn't look up. Your mind, she said, is inefficient but intriguing. I laughed. Thanks, I think. Finally she turned, her expression unreadable, except for that faint, knowing smile. You tease often because you feel deeply. You mask your fear of loss beneath words that make others laugh. Froze. That's an oddly specific analysis. I have studied you, she said simply. You wish connection but fear rejection. So you disguise affection as jest. For once, I had no clever comeback. Then she did something no Arcturian had ever done in front of a human. She placed her palm over my chest, feeling the rapid thump of my heart. Your heart, she whispered, is louder than your words. And in that moment, I realized she wasn't teasing me back. She knew. All the jokes, the comments, the banter. She had seen through every layer. And she didn't push me away. The confession. A few days later, command recalled me to Earth. My orders were clear. Debrief, reassign, move on. When I told Sarai, she didn't speak for a long time. The silence stretched between us, heavy and uncertain. So, I said finally, forcing a grin. Guess this is goodbye, huh? She looked at me, her expression unreadable once again. You are leaving by order, not by choice. Well, yeah. Orders are orders. Would you stay if choice were yours? The question hit harder than I expected. I looked out at the stars beyond the viewport, countless, endless, indifferent, and tried to find the right words. Yeah, I said quietly. Yeah, I would. Then I felt her hand slip into mine. Her touch was gentle, deliberate. In my world, she said, when two energies align through shared struggle, they are considered bonded. The resonance you and I formed. It will not fade easily. I turned to her, searching her eyes. You mean? I mean, she interrupted softly, that teasing may have been your language, but I understood every word you never said. And there it was, that smile again. Knowing. Beautiful. The same smile that had disarmed me the first day we met.